May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be always acceptable in your sight, my strength and my companion. Amen. Please be seated. Good morning. On this third Sunday in Advent, with a reluctant pink candle. This Sunday is also called Gaudete Sunday, Latin for rejoice. It's time to honor the coming of Christmas with joyful anticipation. I don't know about you, but my Advent journey this year has been filled with thoughtful, deepening nourishment, along with the struggle of our world's challenges. Father David asked us a couple weeks ago, what do you love? And last week, what have you lost? This week, we might ask, where do I find joy? Gospel of Luke tells us the people were filled with expectation by John the Baptist. Is he the Messiah? They asked. No, he tells them, but one is coming. He describes to them how to act generously, fairly, honestly. They were filled with hope. Last week, Father David mentioned Richard Rohr, a Franciscan monk, theologian, and writer. I'm currently taking an online class based on his latest book, The Universal Christ. He starts it out by reminding us, Christ is not Jesus' last name. Christ is the word many of us use for the spark of divinity that is in each of us, in all of creation. The divine presence is in everything. Jesus is the human manifestation of this universal divine spirit in everything. The Word made flesh, as the Gospel of John puts it. Now, Father David shared with us his times of doubt, his skepticism, then his growing awareness of the presence of the holy. He shared some of his transcendent moments with us, walking through the woods, hearing the trees sing, the sense of God's presence at particular events. I'm guessing you, as I, have known some of these holy moments at times. I recognize these moments as being God's sacred touch. Maybe my angel committee's hug. One doesn't have to be a mystic or someone special to have these encounters. We don't talk about these much, but I'd like to hear more about some of yours. Our readings today are full of joy. Even a prophet, one who usually warns of doom, Zephaniah, brings us a joyful message. Rejoice and exult with all your heart. Precisely at a time when there was no grounds for optimism. Zephaniah dares to hold that things will take a radical turn for the better. Then our wonderful canticle from Isaiah. And our passage from Philippians echoes the same theme. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say, rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything. Yes, this is Advent. This is the week of the joy candle. And yet, joy is often elusive. We're in the midst of a season of challenging times. We're in the midst of troubling times. Some of us individually, some of us in our families, and in our nation, our world. Perhaps the invitation this Sunday is for us to pause, to reflect, to ask, what is joy for me? Maybe we've crafted it as a momentary pleasure, an emotional high, receiving a promotion, an affirming comment, a new friend, or a reciprocal love. Perhaps Paul in Philippians is inviting us when he says, rejoice in the Lord always, to an enduring joy, one that sustains us even when we're worn down by life's challenges. I believe this is what Richard Rohr is describing as the relationship we're invited into by God, the universal Christ, the divine presence in all of us, an ongoing relationship in trust, in knowledge that we are loved completely, entirely, just as we are. Yes, just as we are. No exams to pass, no perfection, no rules to keep, no sense of regret, no self-judgment, just as we are. Our culture is so caught up in performance to achieve the right title, educational degree, license, status, symbols of wealth and importance, all triggers for anxiety, fear, and a sense of unworthiness. In contrast, Paul in Philippians promises us peace, the peace which passes all understanding. To me, this means to be at peace with who I am, just as I am. Former Bishop Curry kept reminding us that God is love. Period. Love. Knowing we are loved is so hard for many of us. God calls us to be the person we were born to be, fulfilling the original selfhood given to us at birth by God. Born with original blessing, not original sin, a concept that came long after Jesus' life. We're often longing for a more continual, enduring companionship with God, a continual conversation. To be in a relationship, we all know the first step is to just show up. Starting with each morning, I like to start with a prayer of gratitude. It helps me begin my day. And ending my day with a prayer that includes listing the things that day that gave me life. There's many tools available as spiritual practices to help us. Contemplative prayer, meditation, music, chanting, movement, and of course, prayer. It's a continual journey of ups and downs, but always in motion. Years ago, I helped facilitate some retreats at the Franciscan Spiritual Center in Portland with Sister Mary Jo Chavez. The theme of the retreats was, just to be is a blessing. This might be a nourishing mantra for us to take with us for the remainder of Advent? How about every day? I'll close with a prayer from Howard Thurman. I will light candles, candles of joy, despite all sadness, candles of hope, where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all my living, candles that will burn all year round. Amen.